Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1541 of our daily content grind. So a little bit of a programming note before we begin. Tomorrow is the first, which would normally be the monthly Q&A video. However, it's a news roundup day, meaning that's going to take priority. We're going to be doing the Q&A on Tuesday. So tonight is going to be the cutoff point for questions, and then you'll get that new Q&A video Tuesday. Also, I'm going to attempt a Toycember. The format might change up. It might not be every single day. I might take weekends off if it's overloading me, because it has been exceptionally busy lately. But we will see. A lot of my side projects are packed away for now. I'm through Black Friday here at the shop. So hopefully things are calm enough now that I can just hammer out a whole bunch of reviews for everybody. Might be some decent sized stuff. Might be little stuff. It's going to be a completely random Toycember this time. So, that all said, let's get to today's video, which is another Patreon request. I've been wanting to do Optimus Prime designs as tier list for a while now. However, there's like 50, 60 odd Optimus Prime designs out there. Trying to do all of them would be an enormous headache and way too long of a video. But the request was just for the Cybertronian designs. Okay. That's a lot easier, and frankly, they're a lot more varied than the Earth mode Optimus Prime designs, which are pretty much movie-based or G1-based, one or the other. So, we've got 20-odd Optimus Primes to go through. Granted, these are not every single version of Optimus Prime pre-Earth that I could find. Let me rephrase that. It's every one that I could find, but I know there's some that I'm missing here. And that's because a lot of them come from comic books that are not well documented on TF Wiki. So unfortunately, I know there's going to be gaps in this. But I still got about 23 to go through. Thought that was a fair sample size. And the way I have designated this, these are the obviously Cybertronian designs. Yeah, that's easy. But we're also including any depiction of Optimus Prime on Cybertron before he came to Earth, when the fiction specifically makes a point to show that this is pre-Earth. And anytime Optimus Prime got a significant enough redesign on Cybertron to go back to being Cybertronian post-Earth, which is rare, but there's a couple examples. So with all that said, let us begin. We begin with an interesting one, which is animated Optimus Prime, probably one of his most famous Cybertronian appearances. It's what you want out of a Cybertronian mode for Optimus Prime. It's much more rounded and sleek compared to how boxy he has to be for an Earth truck. I generally do overall like it. Now, the smooth aesthetic is also partially just because his Transformers are animated. So it's a little bit hard to parse overall. I'm just going to take it as just like a general design that I like or not. And I'm going to say I like it up to a premium. It's a very good look for Optimus Prime as a Cybertronian. You know, I like the giant like windshield chest thing. We're going to move on to one that I genuinely think is kind of peak, and we did not get much look at it. This is Armada Optimus Prime. Because remember, when he first appeared in episode 1, he beamed down to Earth before he took an alt mode, meaning he's still Cybertronian in nature and looks far more G1 as a result. But it's a very buff and powerful take on G1. I like the high shoulders. I like the big forearms. I like the blue pelvis section. Breaks up the gray a lot better than Prime typically does. It's a great looking design, great lines on it too. Like, it's just a really, really cool look. I'm moving that Holy Grail. It might be because we never got this depicted in any way other than that first episode and a little bit in episode 2. It might just be that. Just like the limited visual of it kept it from getting spoiled, but I still really, really like the design. Next up is the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, and this one really doesn't feel like a Cybertronian design, does it? Like, it's, you know, him on Earth. It's him on Cybertron before they came to Earth, undoubtedly. But it doesn't really look particularly alien. it's especially since we never see like a vehicle mode of it on, in the movie. We can't really get it. It's hard to determine, like how Cybertronian this looks. It really just kind of looks like how Optimus Prime should have looked in the live action movies the entire time. So for that, I mean, I like the look, but honestly, as a Cybertronian take on Optimus, I'm gonna put it bargain bin. It's a good looking Prime, but it's not very Cybertronian looking. It just looks like Prime, you know? Now this one's gonna have you like scratching your head. Wait a minute, but he was on Earth, and he's a super fancy fire truck, but he's a fire truck. Well, hold on. Remember, Cybertron in the original Galaxy Force version was a completely separate series. It had no connection to Energon. It was a completely new story, or supposed to be originally. So this is technically a Cybertronian Optimus Prime pre-Earth. Yeah, no vehicle mode yet, but hey, it is still technically counts. I mean, it's an easy excuse to just once again parade Cybertron Optimus as my favorite Optimus Prime design of all time. You know what though? I'll be fair. How about that? I will be fair. I'm going to put him down to premium because he is still very standard Optimus Prime looking. He does, while he is depicted on Cybertron looking this way prior to their appearance on Earth, and while he is an exceptionally good looking Optimus Prime design, I'll bump it down for the same reason I bumped down the Optimus Prime from the movies. He doesn't look Cybertronian. He just kind of looks like a really cool Optimus Prime. Just vaguely futuristic is all. So I will keep him in premium, probably the low end of premium, simply because he is exceptionally good looking, at least to me. This very biased list. It's very like my personal preferences and tastes. So yeah, that's the justification. But I will be fair. I will keep it out of Holy Grail because it's not quite Cybertronian alien looking. This one's alien looking, but in all the bad ways. So this is the Orion Pax from the Earth Wars video game, where he is basically just a box and like sticks for arms coming out of the box. And also, yes, I am including Orion Paxes in this because Orion Pax had a lot of really cool pre-Cybertron designs, and sometimes it's the only way he did appear as Cybertronian in fiction. So, yeah. I have to have something in the flea market, which is why I included him in this section of the list. But yeah, he is meh. He is very bad looking. Way worse than a lot of the models in that game, by the way. Like, he was just bad. So, this is the brief look that we got at the Earthspark take on Orion Pax. The design itself does kind of take more animated cues, and it is very rounded around the shoulders and the forearms. Very rounded helmet as well. And he has the big window chest. Now, the big window chest is going to look a lot more like, oh god, which one was it? More like the Orion Pax from IDW. More or less, like that big window chest thing going on. But yeah, but it's really just a brief thing that we got to see. I like what we saw. It did look futuristic. It looked Cybertronian. I do like the overall aesthetic of it, but really we only got that one shot, so I can't put it any higher than retail release because frankly we didn't see the whole thing. But for the sake of inclusivity and completion, I'm going to include it. So technically this repaint of Cup is supposed to depict G1 Orion Pax, just as an e-hobby toy, just like as close as they could come. But I felt it was so radically different, and it is still on top of a Cybertronian alt mode, I felt like it was worth including, if only to kind of gawk at it for just a little bit. It's the best they could do at the time. It has vague resemblance to G1 Orion Pax, but it ain't great. It ain't great. So just for the sake of like the audacity of it, I'm going to put it down to flea market level. It might be unfair because it was eHobby just coming up with a repaint to get Orion Pax out there as a toy, but it's such a weird, twisted Orion Pax. If they had redone the head, I would give it to them, but it's still Old Man Cup's face, which means it's just not gonna pass here. That's the other grievance with it. Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. So the design itself is good. You'll recall this is the one they describe as like a big rolling fist, which, you know, he kind of looks it. I mean, he's chunky like I like an Optimus Prime. He's got the Energon lines going. You can definitely see where fictionally his design from War for Cybertron to Fall of Cybertron is definitely shifting more in the direction of his traditional look. It's overall, it's a decent design. It's a decent design. I think I like the other one better. I think I like War for Cybertron better. We'll get to that here in a minute. But for now, like, I kind of want to put it, yeah, okay, I'm going to put it high end of retail release because there is things about it I'm not crazy about. Like the chest feels very bland to me because of the black windows. You know, it doesn't really pop the way an Optimus Prime body needs to have that pop somehow. Yeah, it's just it's a good design, but it's not like striking me. It's not striking me too hard. So here's another IDW Orion Pax design. I couldn't find the comic book where this design is supposed to be. Like, TF Wiki led me down the wrong rabbit hole trying to figure out what design this actually was a take on. So we had to go with the toy itself. And frankly, it's not a great toy to make an example out of because it's very much an Earth mode that he transforms into. This is essentially like the cop Optimus Prime from IDW. And it's for an Orion Pax, like, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So I think what gets me is like having the headlights there for the vehicle mode actually does have like, well, there's the start of his chest windows. It's just the bare minimum start of it. If I'm accounting for how it looked in the comic book, I mean, yeah, I like it, but like it felt like a toned down version of better looking Cybertronian Optimus Primes. It felt like a tame version of like the War Within's design. So I'm not going to give it too many points for that. I will put it bargain bin because it's not the best of designs. It's not the best. I could have done with something a little bit more imaginative. Now, here's where we get into like proper Orion Pax from IDW. This is the one that got the Thrilling 30 toy, if you remember that one. And I do like this. Again, I think there is something about making that window just one solid chest piece that really does kind of scream like the Cybertronian aesthetic and takes away like it's both familiar for Optimus because it's the windows where they need to be, but also it gives that alien look because it's not the arrangement we expect. And that's a nice mid ground that I am looking for here. I wish the rest of him has a little bit more modification because like we've seen Optimus Prime with the normal wheels on his hips, the wheels on his legs, like forearm layout and all this. It basically is just Optimus Prime, except they've redrawn the head and the chest. And that needs a little bit more for me. I like it. I'm going to put it up there in the retail release, but it's going to miss. It's going to miss a little bit more than that. So, you know this probably as the first War for Cybertron Optimus Prime mold, the leader class one specifically. You'll excuse me if I go for water breaks. This is a lot of talking. This one is weird to me. This one never quite clicks with me because it's a big buff Optimus Prime, which I should enjoy, but it's the fact that you have the Cybertron Optimus vehicle mode coming out of the chest, but it's all G1 around it. It feels off and it feels weird. Like there's an aesthetic clash to it where you get this like hard boxy shape to like Optimus Prime or Orion Pax in IDW 2.0 in the rest of his form, but then in the chest you have all these like sharp lines and angles that don't exist anywhere else on the design. It's disjointed. It's disjointed. I'm not a fan of this one, which is weird. You'd think I would be a fan because it's a little bit Cybertron Optimus Prime, and it is, especially if you look at the toy. But it's also doing a few things wrong. It's doing a bunch of things wrong, and I can't credit it for that little bit of Cybertron that's in there when I feel like that, honestly, I feel like that Cybertron piece is hurting it. Yes, it makes the vehicle mode look more Cybertronian, but yeah, the robot mode just kind of looks like Prime wearing a smock. That's basically what it boils down to. So here's a weird one. This is the prototype Optimus Prime. This is movie Cybertronian Optimus Prime. Actual Bayverse this time. And this one varies. Depending on the artist in the comic books, this either appears in his traditional red and blues, or it appears in the silver that the original toy did. And honestly, part of me prefers the toy, just because it stands out so much more different than what you would expect out of Optimus Prime. Like, the red and blue being something he discovered on Earth is kind of a nice touch for me. Like, I kind of like that. But yeah, like, the all-silver design, now, this is going into, like, Bayverse aesthetic. This is going into, like, how they look movie-wise. And if I'm judging it on that critique and that little thing, that particular grading scale, I do think it's really good. I think it looks like a very alien Optimus Prime, and there is enough of the familiar touches to him that I still recognize it as Optimus Prime. Could I use a little bit more? Absolutely. Absolutely. But for what it is, for the universe it comes from, I think it actually nailed what it was going for. So, you know, I can't hate on the movie stuff forever. I am going to give you credit on this one. That one I thought was okay. I don't mind that one. Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. So I could have included like all three versions from the movie, but ultimately they're all just the Optimus Prime with more and more layers taken off. So we're just going to go with the standard Optimus Prime on this one. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of peak. It's kind of peak. This one does everything that I'm looking for in a Cybertronian Optimus Prime. You know, it is obviously alien when he transforms. It is obviously, there's obviously like no Earth influence going on. You have that single window in the chest. Again, you have the rounded areas that feel more futuristic, you know, where like he doesn't have to hide. You know, like he has a conversion, but it's not for the method of disguise. It's just for the method of movement and attack, right? So it does everything it needs to do, but it also just has that look of like, you know, like an alien Optimus Prime, and still has all the, like, it's a good balance is what I'm trying to say. It's just very well balanced all the way around. So exceptionally good toy, exceptionally good looking Optimus Prime, toy or otherwise. Okay, now we get to G1 Orion Pax. Now, I do want to point out, technically, I could have included G1 Optimus Prime on here. However, I chose not to. I thought that would have been a little bit too far. Also, we're going to get there anyway. But we're looking at G1 Orion Pax. And again, this is where we get the idea of like a solid chest window instead of the divided windows that we got in Optimus Prime traditionally. This is where you get the rounded head that he's usually depicted with, the lack of the mouth plate that Cybertronian Primes usually have. A lot of Cybertronian Optimuses across the franchise all take inspiration from Orion Pax, a design that was never really meant to leave the cartoon, and yet here we are. I don't mind it so much. The only thing that bugged me about it, really, is that because it is a fluoro dairy design, it aesthetically does not match with the rest of Cybertron. The helmet and shape design, the rounded areas to the body, like, yeah, it works to make him look more alien and make him look like a younger Optimus Prime, but at the same time, there is something a little bit separated from the rest of the TV show's aesthetic. You know, this would have looked better like in season 3 where more characters looked like that, but I don't know. I think it stood out in the wrong way a little bit. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think it just could have used a little bit more connection to Optimus Prime's final look is all. Here's one that you might not have seen before. So this is Orion Pax, but this one is from the aligned continuity, specifically Transformers Prime. So you remember how we have all of the chaos that is the aligned continuity and how many things don't fit? Yeah, this was the design they went for Orion Pax in the comic books. He has some vague connection to the War for Cybertron design, particularly like in the overall like chest shape and where the wheels end up. But he is just a scrawny little geek of a robot, and I kind of appreciate that for an Orion Pax. He has the right drapings for Optimus Prime. It's just a quirky, weird look. Like to the point where I'm not entirely sure if I like it or not. I mean, I can definitely see where Optimus Prime evolves out of this design, but I don't know, like he just kind of looks like a dork. But that's kind of the point of Orion. I don't know. I don't know where to put it. I'm going to put it like right there in the middle of retail release. Like, it's weird. It's like it's doing different things and I like that, but I'm not sure I like what the different things are. So I think that's the world that I'm living in at the moment. And then we have this guy. So this is another Cybertronian Optimus Prime, and again, this is from Transformers Prime. And again, probably one that a lot of people didn't actually see, because this is just the only appearance of it. But honestly, there is a lot of peak design to this. Like, I do like the overall shape to it. I like the boxiness of it. Because this is Transformers Prime, where I can complement the boxiness because the final models are rounded. So again, you're giving that, you know, it's more about the separation between Earth and Cybertron designs. But what gets me is just how it handles the window chest and how it kind of flows into the rest of the body. I like that a lot. I really like how that looks. It's a super neat looking version of Optimus. And again, it hits that alien aesthetic I want. Hits that alien look that I want out of a Prime from Cybertron. Yeah, that's a really cool one. Like, that one I can really get behind. Now, here we go. This is Siege Optimus Prime, and it literally is just G1 Optimus Prime. I was never big on... I like the idea of Siege. Let's do a toy line where everyone is Cybertronian, but they did not embrace it in the least. You know, some designs were there. You know, Starscream got to be the original Tetra Jet, for instance. But Optimus was just kind of like a beefier version of his normal truck mode. Whoop-de-doo. So that one didn't really go with. That one didn't do anything for me. This one goes down to the flea market level. I can't put him that low. I can't put him that low. And it goes down that low simply because it's a couple of extra little details that they stuck onto a G1 Prime to tell you this is how he looked on Cybertron. This is a Cybertronian Prime. And you're just screaming in your head, no, it's not. No, it's not. You tacked a few new accessories onto Prime and called it a day. It doesn't look in any way, shape, or form Cybertronian. So in that sense, it fails. It fails what it's supposed to be accomplishing. Hence why it's low on the list. Here's another one where this might be a little bit controversial. Just because, yeah, he still turns into a semi-truck, but I would argue Star Convoy is one of those that was so heavily remodeled that he goes all the way back to being Cybertronian again. That's how I feel. But in that sense, I do like the overall look. He accomplishes what he needs to of being a more powerful Optimus Prime. It is a very alien truck that he does turn into. So I give him credit on that one. I want to put him somewhere... I think low premium is okay for Star Convoy. I think that is okay for that. He's got enough futuristic drapings to him. They're like, yeah, I can see that. I will call that Cybertronian. I know it's the guy who's designing Gundams who drew him up. So I will take that. Like, there's a little bit of Gundamification to Optimus Prime here. All right, what do we got? Now we're talking peak. Now we're getting into some peak stuff. So this is what we now call Stormbringer Optimus Prime. This is IDW again. This is Cybertronian. After Matrix. After Matrix on this one. And this is, again, where I like the changes that they made. So we have some of those same changes that you saw with the toy, the one IDW toy that I did, the Cop Optimus. But everything about him is buffer. Everything about him looks more powerful. It's familiar in shape, but it's doing different things. If I can pull up my big picture of it. Where's my big picture of it so I can describe this a little bit better? I'm not finding it. I'm very unprofessional today. I apologize for this. I assure you, I will work on this and then come back to you tomorrow as just as unprofessional as I am now. I just realized what I did there. Hang on, I'll fix that. But yeah, like, this has this interesting mix because, yeah, it's a big, powerful Optimus who has these familiar traits, like the smokestacks on the shoulders and the beginnings of the chest windows. But he's got his own chest that makes him look more bulky and powerful. And he has the wheels built, tucked into his back behind his shoulders and his, like, torso, which gives you a little bit of the War Within Cybertronian design. So it's a little blend of everything here. I really do like this take on Optimus as well. Let me move that image back for you so you see which one I am discussing. Yeah, this one hits a lot of notes for me. That one hits a lot of notes for me. I really like that take on Prime. It's familiar, but it's doing new things. It looks more powerful because it's a war setting, etc. Let's get interesting, shall we? You recall Optimus Prime was supposed to come back to life in TransTech, because Primal sacrificed his spark, so Optimus had to be the one who was going to come back and lead our Maximals against the brand new crew of villains. So, again, it's the idea of he has been reformatted so heavily that he's back to being Cybertronian. This one was such a fun design. Like, the truck mode that he turned into actually has a little bit of like an ape look to it to kind of tie it back to Optimus Primal. And that kind of carries through in like the proportions he had in robot mode. Again, hyper futuristic. That was the TransTech thing. Look like you come from about 2,000 years into the future. That was what they were going for. Aesthetically nailed it. I do like the overall look. I do like it as like a very futuristic Optimus. He is missing some drapings that I would expect from a Cybertronian Prime, but he comes from an era where they were intentionally avoiding all of that stuff. And if he's more a take on like a G1ified Optimus Primal from Beast Machines, then the design makes a lot more sense. I think I'm going to put it up to premium. I do like that design quite a bit. Okay, so here's another interesting one. Here's another oddball one for you. So this is Orion Pax, but this is Orion Pax from War Within. Or War for Cybertron, rather. So this one, again, heavy built Optimus Prime. He does have like the treads you can see in the back of the shoulders, but more or less G1 style, darker in tones. He doesn't have the glass on the chest yet. It's a nice buff looking Optimus, and he's kind of cool looking in that. But it's another one of those where I'm not sure he's doing enough differently. He just kind of like overall looks like a buff, more heavily detailed, greebled Optimus Prime. You know, and then he just has treads in the back that you can see. It's not bad looking, but this is one where, like, the idea behind it is we want to look Cybertronian, and we want to look different from how we normally look. So that's where it kind of fails a little bit. I feel like putting him like high bargain bin. Looks cool, but doesn't accomplish its goal. Doesn't accomplish its goal. Like, the one exception we have made so far to it looks like normal Optimus Prime is the Armada. Because the Armada very much does look like normal G1 Optimus Prime, just heavily designed. And we allow that because Armada Optimus Prime looks nothing like G1 Optimus Prime. He's got a grill for a chest. He's got his color layout different. He's built like a linebacker. So yeah, there you get away with it. Because based on what we know Armada Prime as, the Cybertronian is very different. It applies. So yeah, for the same reasons, this guy I can't put any higher. He's just a buffer, more detailed Optimus Prime, essentially. We need to finish strong. We are finishing strong. This is War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. This really does depend on how it was depicted, right? So, like, the original toy, I thought had better proportions. It's like more standard proportions. But you like that big powerhouse that he's supposed to look like in the game to be a toy. And we didn't get that until the Modern Gamer Edition. Hang on a second. I was trying to figure out in my head, can I go without one more sip of water? And I went, no, I can't. I can't. Voice is giving out too fast. But again, here we have another Optimus who has familiar drapings, but again, looks very different from what we're used to, especially if you consider he's eventually going to be Prime Optimus Prime. Very heavy built, powerhouse looking Optimus. You know, and then, like, especially if you get into, like, the vehicle mode is radically different than his standard one. So this one, again, gets high marks. This one, again, gets very high marks. I think it's fitting that I put him with what the cartoon thought would be Cybertronian Optimus Prime. So, again, he's doing enough different that it does strike me as unique enough to go, yeah, that's very alien. That's very Cybertronian. That's very cool looking. And then we get to War Within. We get to War Within. And, yeah, I don't think there's a question to this one. I don't think there's a question to this one. So, this one does hit a lot of my notes again. It's a big, powerful looking Optimus Prime. You got different color layout. You got different chest design. So, he definitely looks a lot different. One aspect I really like is that those heavy wheels of his become torso detail. And I don't know why I like that look. I just like that look. But it's a big powerhouse looking Optimus doing a lot of different things than the standard design. And just overall good looking bot with good details, good proportions. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. All the way to the top. All the way to the top. Yeah, it's weird. I hate to give Pat Lee credit for anything, but that's a really, really good Optimus Prime design. So yeah, like I said, there's probably a lot that I've missed because a lot of these pre-Earth designs come from sources that are not well depicted, just because, you know, TF Wiki doesn't, it's a comic book. A lot of this came from comic books, and TF Wiki does not want to go like, here's a whole bunch of comic book images, because the medium exists solely in image. So, and I respect that. But it does mean that I've probably missed a few. Don't grill me for it. I've included as many as I could find, and I still think this is a pretty good sampling. It shows just like how wildly different people have ideas for what he looked like before he was Optimus Prime. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it, you know, because it's a bit of a blank slate. There's a template, but you can basically color over it however you want. And we get some good looking details. We get some good looking designs out of it. Again, it's just my opinion. Please feel free to use the comment section to tell me why your favorite Optimus Prime deserved to be at the top, and tell me what a horrible human being I am for putting it so low. I fully expect that. So, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.